Good day everyone. Alam ko po 3 araw na tayong nakatutok sa ating computers, sa ating mga malalaking screen. 3 araw na nating inaalam kung paano ba magtuturo ng online. So, online teaching is all new to all of us. But one thing is not new, and this is what I'm going to discuss with you. Conflict, damage control. So, how are we going to check on this? And that's exactly the topic. I hope in the next 5 hours, yes, 5 hours, you will not fall asleep. Because every time I talk on crowd like this, especially people whom I do not see, usually it took me 5 hours, and some are falling on their chairs. I hope it does not happen to you out there. Okay? So what is conflict resolution? This is an informal and formal process between 2 or more parties who have disputes and aims to arrive at a peaceful resolution. This is not a win-lose situation. This should be a win-win situation. So how are we going to minimize this conflict? Let's see. First and foremost, tip number 1, you should always be calm, respectful, and professional. Kapag po sinisigawan ka ng parents, parang nababastos na yung pagkatao mo, huwag po natin silang sisigawan din. Dahil walang dalawang taong nagkasundo ng pareho silang sumisigaw. Kapag yung bata sumisigaw at sinigawan mo lalo in the purpose of frightening the child, hey guys, remember, child protection policy. What's that? That's DepEd number 40 series of 2011. If my memory serves me right. I hope I am right by this time. So, do not retaliate against parents. If they shout, do not shout. Speak in a moderate, audible voice. Yung naiintindihan po tayo. Kasi pag hindi naman tayo naiintindihan, lalo lamang po magagalit yan. Baka isipin yan, binabastos nyo sila. Next, no patronizing, demeaning, or negative remarks about the parents or the child. Okay? Kapag po tayo ay nasa harap ng magulang, tandaan po natin, ang pinakamagandang nilalang sa mata ng mga magulang ay dilit iba't kundi ang kanilang mga anak. Pinakagwapo yan. Kahit na mukhang sinampal ng sinelas, gwapo pa rin po yan. Kahit mukhang nasubsob sa abuhan, maganda pa rin po sila sa mata ng kanilang mga magulang. Sometimes it's not okay to be overly honest. Kung hindi mo kayang sabihin maganda, sabihin mo, wow, ang cute naman po ng inyong anak. Huwag po tayo magbibigay ng negative comments. That will surely ruin the day. At matatapos po yun sa conflict. Number 3, educate the parents, the students, and yourself about the policies of the school. And why so? Simply because if they know the policy and they know it's wrong, they will not violate it. If they violate it, it goes without saying that there is a deliberate intent. Sinasadya na po yan. At pag sinasadya po yan, ibig sabihin yan, tinatasahan po ang kakayahan ng eskwelahan na magpatupad ng kanyang mga panuntunan. Pero hindi lamang po ang parents at ang mga mag-aaral ang dapat alam ang ating school rules and regulation. Maging kayo man na mga guro o maging mas mula po sa pinakamaliit na kantiner hanggang po sa principal ng eskwelahan, isama na po natin ang ating mga administrator. Dapat po alam ang policies ng eskwelahan. Do not be caught flat-footed, not knowing your own rules and regulation. Next, listen carefully and attentively. You know, it goes like this. When a person has a problem, he does not need an advice. He does not need an advice. He needs what? He needs a good listening ear. Kailangan lamang po sa taong masama ang damdamin na mayroong makikinig. Hindi nga po ba sa principle ng guidance and counseling, kaway-kaway po sa mga guidance counselor ng sistema. Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. You should not give advice, but always give counseling. Kasi pagka nagbigay ka ng payo, pag sinunod ng bata at medyo hindi inaasa, ang nangyari ay yung hindi niya inaasahan, masisisi pa kayo niyan eh. Pero kung makikinig lamang po kayo, dahil yun lamang po ang kailangan niya, tinitiyak ko po sa inyo, maghihiwalay kayo ng maayos ng sino man na nagbibigay sa inyo, lalabas sa inyo ng problema. Remember? Listen. Sometimes our stakeholders just need a listening ear. Merong galit na parents. Hindi mo alam kung bakit galit na galit. Yung pala kailangan lamang niya ng makikinig sa mga sinasabi niya. Dahil pakiramdam niya pag pinakikinggan siya ng eskwelahan, siya ay importanteng tao. Alalahanin po natin, isa sa pinaka-importanteng tao sa MCA, NCLC system ay ang ating parents. Bakit? Sila po yung nagdadala ng mga mag-aaral natin. Okay? Hindi ko sinasabing hindi po kayo importante. Ang sabi ko lang, isa sila sa pinaka-importante. If you can fix it, employ somebody to do it for you. Halimbawa na po, hindi mo na ma-resolve yung conflict. Huwag mo ipagpilitan. Out of pride, gusto mo pa rin i-resolve, hindi na kaya. Learn to calculate your capacity. Maybe you're not the right person who can settle the dispute. Call somebody. Call someone. It's not always you. Kahit po ako ay sobrang tagal na sa sistema, hindi man yun na itatanong, 25 taon na po ako dito sa aking ginagawa. Sabi po nila, ako po ay isa ng alamat. Yung pong buhay na alamat, yung buhay pa mukhang alamat na. Po. Minsan may mga problemang hindi po natin kayang lutasin na nangangailangan tayo ng ibang tao. Lalo na kung yung magulang ay hindi masyadong naniniwala sa atin. At karanasan po yan. Karanasan po ng inyong lingkod. May mga magulang na makita pa lang po ang inyong lingkod eh naaasar na. Kasi napakayabang ko po talagang tingnan. Pasensya na po. Sometimes it's okay to disagree. But know it when. When are we going to disagree? After you have discussed the issue and attempt to resolve it, after you have avoided the long argument because it's not healthy, after you have documented the disagreement because you can simply come out with a common solution. It's okay to disagree, most especially if the welfare of the school is at stake. Remember, we should always be protecting our school. It's okay to disagree when the welfare of your colleague is at stake, especially if your colleague is really, completely innocent of the accusation. Then is the time it's okay to disagree. Now, what are you going to do with this documentation of the disagreement? Bring it to other people. Have somebody analyze it. It's not on you. Why? Because it's you who gets the first encounter. And you fail to resolve the conflict. If you fail once, don't do it again. Conflict resolution is a one-time stunt. Next in line is notify your admin about red flags. What are these? Who are these red flags? These are the hard to handle parents, hard to discipline students. Notify them immediately. Why? So that when anything happen, you cannot be blamed by anyone. Sinabi ko na po sa inyo yan. Notify your admin about red flags. These red flags could be the possible problem that you are foreseeing in the future. Like what? May isang teacher, halimbawa na, pinipilit niyang magbenta ng ticket sa halagang 50,000 para lang manalo sa inyong parapol. Mahal ho ang magulang, lalo na kung 50,000 na ho yan pantuition na ng bata yan. Dapat we should be always on the moderation. It's okay that we have this winning spirit, but if that winning spirit of yours, guys out there, is going to ruin the good name and reputation of the school, please modify. Okay? Settle down for the second test. Because why should you notify? Because the duty of the subordinate is to supply your superior with the right information. Hindi yung mapabuti ka lang sa paningin ng iyong boss, sa iyong principal, sabihin mo kagad, ay naku, kayang-kaya yan, ma'am. 50,000? Panis. Wala akong ganun. Dapat win-win solution. Huwag tayong magsasabi sa ating mga, hindi naman ho nagagalit, yung pala galit na. And you are always believing that you can resolve it. Before you know it, the complaint is already in the other forum. Yung pala, nirereklamo ka na sa social media. Sumasama na ang inyong mukha ng eskwelahan sa social media. Okay? So, always tell the truth to your superior. As subordinate, it is your duty to feed your boss with the right information. No sugarcoating, please. Pag hindi na nakaya, involve a lawyer. Surely, a lawyer's letter will dissolve the red flags. Sino ba sa inyo rito ang gusto sinusulatan ng abogado? Samantalang makatanggap ka lang ng sulat mula sa isang abogado, ang tingin mo na doon, malaking problema. Dahil, pag sinagot po yun, kailangan nyo rin ng abogado. See? Now, and since conflict is always coming from dealing with people, I'll give you some tips on dealing with people. Number 1, do not criticize. Sinabi ko na ho ito kanina. Nobody would like to be criticized. Be it good or not, if you criticize somebody, the first sound of your criticism is negative. I'm sorry to tell you that. Have self-control. Kahit gustong-gusto mo nang sabihin, alam mo ma'am, alam mo misis, hindi ho maganda ho yung ginagawa nyo, hindi ho maganda yung ginawa nyong costume. You can always say it in a different way, but arrive at the same result. Control yourself. Be understanding and forgiving. Ang kailangan ng tao ay yung taong uunawa sa kanya. Kung konti lang naman ang problema, palusutin na natin. Halimbawa na, ang inyong kota ay 55,000. Nakapaglagay lang yung parents ng 54,000. Okay na po yun. 1,000 na lang naman eh. Do not condemn. Nobody wanted to be blamed. Remember that. Nobody wanted to be blamed. Halimbawa na po sa isang sa isang competition. Yung anak niya natalo. Pag sinabi mo sa kanyang, ma'am, kasi kaya natalo ho anak niyo kasi ini-spoil niyo po sa pagmo-Mobile Legend eh. You don't do that. Guys, you don't do that. Ang sasabihin sa iyo ng magulang, sir, nahirapan na nga ng career review at kapapractice ang anak ko, sisisihin mo pa. A little luxury, a little, what do you call that? A little, yeah, I'm running out of word here. Wait a while. A little form of, what's that? What's the word? Let me see. Teka po, naghang ha. Dali lang. A little form of entertainment. Ayun. A little form of entertainment, aagawin niyo pa ba? Nourish self-esteem. If you deal with other people, if you deal with your student, make sure that you are uplifting the self-esteem of the student. Every person has the craving to be appreciated. Sino po ba naman ng taong ayaw nang siya ay pinupuri, nang siya ay pinapahalagahan? Nourish that desire to be great or desire to be important. Kapag po yung estudyante nyo, hindi nyo na pinapansin, may mga estudyante na nagwawala, what do you call that, na nagsasayang ng kanyang performance because they wanted you to notice them. Di ba may mga kaso ng ganito? Yung dating batang matalino, yung dating batang magaling sa klase, bigla na lang all of a sudden, bigla pala sa all of a sudden, pareho po yun. Bigla na lamang magiging non-performing. Why? Because he wanted to be noticed. He wanted to catch attention. So everybody wanted to catch attention. Yung tinatawag po natin kulang sa pansin, totoo po yan. So when you are dealing with people, notice first the other person before he noticed you. Make him feel that he is needed. Sino naman po kaya yung matutuwa na parang hindi ka na kailangan sa sistema? Everybody is needed. All you have to do is to make him feel that he is one important element of the system. Okay, now let's now move on to damage control. How do we define this? This is an act or process that limits the gravity of damage. I'm sorry, I encoded the wrong grammar there. Caused by an accident or error. So I would like to give you some damage control starter pack. Number 1, the Compendium of School Laws of the Philippines. Number 2, the Students' Rights and Wrong. Other laws affecting the learners. School Handbook. Okay, so yan po yung Compendium of School Laws and of School Laws in the Philippines. Medyo makapal po yan, pero kung titsagain nyo pong basahin, lahat po ng may kinalaman mula po sa pagtatayo ng eskwelahan, pagkuha ng permit, I have just browsed it, sa pag-apply ng recognition, hanggang po dun sa pag-i-employ ng teachers na makikita po natin dito sa Compendium of School Laws of the Philippines. Ngayon, ito naman pong Students' Rights and Wrong, it's another book which I love. These two actually guided me along the process or along the way of my job as the Prefect of Discipline of the National Christian Life College. Kung papansinin niyo po yung pabalat niya, yung kanyang cover, luma-luma na po yan. That is the actual picture of my books. Para pong comedy, pansinin nyo. But this is a very sensible books. However, you cannot find this in some, or rather in some popular bookstores. I think you should look for it at the law office of Attorney Ulan Sarmiento, the Dean of San Beda College of Law. Okay? This is a very good book. And going back, what are the other laws affecting the learners? Dapat po alam natin yan. Being a damage controller. And of course, our school handbook. Ngayong taon po, hindi muna tayo magre-revise ng school handbook. I'm still convincing people not to revise it for now because I believe that this new normal is not going to last that long. But this will be just a temporary. I hope this will be temporary. So we will be simply adding some addendums to our policy without nullifying the old handbook. So we can still use this old handbook. How to conduct this damage control? First rule of thumb is analyze the situation carefully without bias. Do not fall into the trap of your emotion. When we are faced with a situation, always remember that you should not be emotionally involved. You know, emotion is very tricky. If you fall trap on that emotion, you will not be able to come up with the right decision. What is being used in making decision is none other than your brain. Detach yourself from the situation. So what does it mean? Halimbawa na po, ang sitwasyon natin ay may isang batang nag-a-addict o gumagamit ng pinagbabawal na gamot. Dahil nakita mo yung dahilan niya ay hindi siya masyadong inaasikaso ng kanyang mga magulang. At nakita mo rin ang sarili mo na hindi ka rin inaasikaso ng magulang mo nung bata pa. If you what do you call that? If you see yourself in that situation, you will not be able to come up with the right decision because you are involved. So the rule of thumb is to detach yourself from the situation. Next is due process. Always hear the both sides. Investigate carefully. Hindi po pwede na ginagawa ng isang damage controller o isang discipline officer na pag may nagsumbong ng ganito, alam mo sir, alam ko kung sino kumuha niya, pero wag mo pong sasabihin kung na ako ang nagsabi. Pagka po ganyan ang sitwasyon nyo, huwag nyo na pong ituloy. Wala ka po kasing haharap na titistigo sa inaakusa mo. And that is very damaging to your part. Why? Remember, you are accusing somebody with the person telling you incognito. Ayaw magpakilala. Paano kung umabot tayo sa mas malalim na pag-iimbestiga? Paano pag sinabong, sino po nagsabi sa inyo? Ba, hindi niyo po pwedeng sabihin na sa bata na, ba, hindi mo na para malaman. Mali po yun. Tandaan po natin, isa sa mga karapatan ng inaakusahan ay ang makita ng harapan ang taong nag-aakusa sa kanya. Dahil baka mamaya, sabi-sabi lang yun. At pag hindi niyo po ipinaharap sa bata kung sino ang nag-aakusa sa kanya o nagsabi sa inyo ng information, babalik po yan sa inyo at sasabihin niyan, sir, hearsay mo lang yan. That is a deliberate intent to pin me on this particular violation. And that is wrong. And that is a violation of what? Marami po tayong masasagasaang batas na nagbibigay proteksyon sa ating mga mag-aaral. Isa na po dyan ang child abuse. Meron din po tayong child protection policy. Ano po sinasabi sa child protection policy? That when there is a conflict of interpretation of who's right and who's wrong between the teacher and the student, it will be on the student side. And they tolerate this particular child protection policy does not, rather, is for a zero tolerance on any abuse. Tandaan po natin yan. Number 2, silence is the best weapon of the strong. Wow. Keep them guessing. Do not be predictable. Kapag po mayroong conflict, pag mayroong situation, the first thing that you need to do is to keep your mouth shut. Why? Because you might not be able to control your utterances. Baka hindi nyo po mapigil yung mga sinasabi nyo, magamit pa yun sa inyo. Samantalang kung hindi ka nagsasalita, kung nananatili ka lamang walang kibo, pero nag-iisip, that makes you a very dangerous damage controller. Okay? Keep them guessing. Magsusulat kaya ito? Mag-file kaya ito ng complaint? So those things makes the person worry. And before you know it, the person who did that is coming to your front. Umaamin na. Why? Hindi ka kasi nagbintang, hindi ka naggalit. Paano kung pinagbintangan mo pala ay yung maling tao? E di ngayon nakakaramdam na ng panalo yung taong gumawa ng violation. Induce them to be overconfident. They will commit mistake. Alam niyo minsan ng tao, pag nakakaramdam na siya ay parang that he is getting away with the violation that he had just conducted or rather committed, the person become careless. Why? He's overly confident that he is not going to be caught. You know, most criminals, they get caught when the time that they become careless. Wait for the proper timing to speak, to break your silence. Kumbaga, break your silence with a bang. We know that there is a damage. We know that the certain situation is going to damage the institution. By talking a lot, by not keeping yourself in silence, I'm pretty sure you will be incurring a lot of problems, or rather, a lot of problems. Now, number 3. Do not use your forefinger. Instead, find solution. Check for logical solution and apply them. Make allies, not enemy. Okay? So what is this forefinger using that we are trying to say? Most people, when there is a problem, they find somebody to blame. Naghanap tayo ng sisisihin. That should not be it. May problema pala. Ano kailangan ng problema? Solusyon. Hindi sisisihin. That is the most logical approach. Check for logical solutions. Apply them. And then, when the problem is over, analyze. What part did we become weak? So that it will never be repeated again. But again, no blaming here. Okay? Halimbawa na po, sa isang klase, nabasag yung aquarium. Nakikita mo, nakalat yung mga bubog. Ipadampot nyo na po yung mga bubog. Pawalisan nyo, palinis nyo na yung aquarium. Tapos ngayon, saka nyo alamin kung sino nakabasag. Sa sobrang bait nyo, aamin po yan. Gamitin nyo lang ang husay nyo sa investigasyon. At pagka nakita nyo na kung sino nagbasag, huwag nyo sabihin kasi ang likot-likot mo. Remember, nobody would like to be condemned. Kundi pwede mo lang sabihin, paano? Pwede ba sabihin mo sa magulang mo, hati kami ng presyo niyan? Kasi kailangan din natin yan dito sa classroom. Okay? Assign the source of information. Halimbawa na masyado pong malaki naging problema. Sa isang eskwelahan, halimbawa na merong classroom na huwag naman sana mangyari, nasunog. Siyempre, magiging talk of the town yan. Yung immediate community natin, magsasalita. Magtatanong. Hindi po pwedeng lahat ay nagsasalita at lahat ay sumasagot. Dapat po isa lang ang pinagmumulan ng ating information. Bakit? Bakit po? Kasi more talking means more tendency to commit mistakes. At ayaw nating mangyari doon. Ayaw natin yan. Have one person to give the official statement. And lastly, filter all the information to be released. Hindi po pwedeng maglalabas tayo na ura-urada. Kung hindi, piliin lang natin yung ibibigay natin for public consumption. Minsan, nagiging tanyo pansinin niyo po, yung mga malalaking university, bago po sila maglabas ng official statement, tapos na yung investigasyon, meron na silang nagawang desisyon, may nagawa na po silang aksyon, saka po sila maglalabas ng statement. So, hindi na sila mababalikan ng mga tao. Hindi ka na magiging talk of the town, hindi ka na magiging viral sa social media. Alam niyo po, ang masakit ngayon. Ang social media ang paboritong armas ng mga batang walang magawa. That's the culture. Pag hindi nadaan sa Twitter, sa Facebook, dadaanin ka sa Twitter. Pag hindi nakuha sa Twitter, may Instagram pa. Mabuti na lang po, wala na Friendster. O kaway-kaway po sa mga taong nag-Friendster pa dati. Loyalty check. Number 5. Remember this, the student comes and go, but your colleague remains with you. Wow, there is a rhyme. Students comes and go, but your colleagues remains with you. Alam niyo po, may mga kasama tayo sa industriya ng pagtuturo na masyadong nagiging close sa estudyante. Wala naman po sanang masama doon. Kaya lang, pag ang ating closeness sa estudyante ay nagbubunga na ng disloyalty sa ating institution, masama na yun. Bakit po? Ang ating mga mag-aaral, nandyan lang yan ngayong taon, pangalawang taon, pangatlong taon, pagkatapos yan, iiwanan na tayo. Pero yung kasama mo, na na-damage dahil pinaburan mo yung estudyante sa kanyang mga maling paratang, kasama mo yan hanggat nasa ministry ka. Yan ang magkukumot sa iyo kapag giniginaw ka. Yan ang magsasalba sa iyo pag nasusunog ka na. Yan po dapat natin tingnan. Students and parents comes and go, but your colleagues remains with you. Pahalagaan natin ang kasama natin. Hindi po ganon kadaling kumuha ng kasamang maayos. Huwag natin silang tulungang mapariwara dahil ang ating loyalty ay nagka-problema. The institution is your root. Remember, no branch live apart from the tree. Defend your fellow, but remember, police them as well. Ipagtanggol mo siya sa labas, ipagtanggol mo siya sa kahit kanino na nasa labas ng institusyon, pero pagdating mo sa loob, pagalitan mo yan. Bakit? Sino magagalit dyan na gusto mo? Yung taong nasa labas? Hindi ko tama yun. Marami na po akong nakasama sa NCLC. Marami diyan ang nasabihan ko na umayos ka. Pero kapag dinadamage na po sila sa labas, ako yung nagtatanggol sa kanila. Kung kaya ko pong gawin. If I am in the position to defend them, I will with all my strength. Because I don't want any of my colleague to be down. At the end of the day, my colleague is my colleague. The student, they simply come and go. The parents, they simply come and go. After 2 to 3 years, maybe you will never have, that person hardly remembers you. While your colleague is still with you. Now, I'll give you some steps to follow when handling parents or handling conflict or doing some damage control. First, dress at your best. Kapag humaharap po tayo sa magulang, lagi po nating ipresenta ang sarili natin sa isang mas maayos na pananamit. Remember, you are representing the school. Ang kapintasan mo ay kapintasan po ng paaralan. Next, offer something to eat before starting the conference. Alam niyo po, kahit nagalit ang magulang, my first damage control is to offer him something to eat like, coffee sir, drinks. Anything I can offer you, sir? That's my first line of defense. Kasi ang taong binigyan mo ng ganung pagpapahalaga, mababawasan ang galit sa iyo. Kahit po yan nagtataray, I'm pretty sure, upon the sip of coffee, the coffee melts all the irate feeling inside the parents. Listen first and listen with comprehension. Muna nating piliing makinig kaysa tayo yung unang dumaldal. Dahil ang may kailangan ng pakikinig yung pong mga magulang. Calculate your statement. Do not let your words turn the table against you. Huwag tayong masyadong burara sa pagbibigay ng statement natin. Always think before you open your mouth. Okay, look for some points where you can both agree. You know, the tendency for any two conflicting party is to have different point of view. But there is always a middle ground. Look for that. It's just around. Don't you worry, you can find it. Example ko nga po dyan, minsan yung magulang gustong kunin ang card pero hindi ho pa yan. Naturalmente, hindi natin ibibigay. Bakit? According to the law, when a student has financial or property obligation, the private school has the capacity to withhold all credentials. Simple as that. And they cannot deny that. But for an irate parents, the next question is, paano na po makakapag-aral ang anak ko? That's a big question. May kasama po yung condemnation. May kasamang appeal to emotion. May kasamang appeal to conscience. Kung ikay magulang and you are not detaching yourself from the situation, mag-iisip ka, o nga, no, paano kaya? Kung ikaw naman po ay hindi magulang at meron kang lawyer's tendency, the next answer could be, bakit po naman parang pinapuproblema nyo sa akin ang bagay na dapat kayo may problema? Pag sinabi nyo naman yung huling sinabi ko, tsak may kaabay kayo talaga. So where is the middle ground then? Maybe you can come up with an agreement that he should pay for at least half of the arrear, or rather the unpaid tuition fees or the unpaid accounts, and then the remaining can be on a, what do you call that, on a staggered basis with an agreement. You can solve that. So that's your common ground. Pa-enrollin mo yung bata, pagkatapos magbayad ng kalahati, and then after that, gumawa ng agreement na magbabayad siya unti-unti, idadagdag ng paunti-unti hanggang sa makatapos yung tao makabayad sa atin. Kaya pag sinakal natin yan, pag pinilit natin kunin, hey guys, you have a very big conflict. Sasabihin, nag-pandemic na nga eh. Parang wala ka namang konsensya niyan. Now, another step is, if it is good, if it is for the good of the school, sacrifice your pride. Minsan tayo mga guro may ganito. Ayoko, bagsak ka talaga eh. Ayaw mong ibigay. Sir, kahit na po 75, pasan nyo lang kasi po, gagraduate na po ako. 5 taon na po ako sa grade 12. Imagine mo, 5 taon na sa grade 12. Bakit? Ano ba general average mo? 73 po. O 2 points pa. Yung bata, sinabi sa'yo, sige po, kung hindi nyo po kayo papasa, magpapakamatay na lang. Well, pagka po ang bata nagsabi sa inyo ng gano'n, check it as a red flag. Paano kung tutuhanin? Can you take it in your conscience? Paano yung isang kaso ng estudyanteng nagpakamatay, tumalon sa kondo dahil sinisisi niya ang eskwelahan? Ano nangyari sa eskwelahan? Naging talk of the town. Kung ganun lang naman kaliit na bagay, bigyan mo na lang ng extra work. Like, huwag kayo magpapaproject ng book, ha? kailangan ang project na idadagdag nyo sa kanya bilang extra work ay related din. Ang subject nyo, PE, pinag-project nyo ng kalan, hindi ko tama yun. Okay? So if it's for the good of the school, sacrifice a little of your pride. Kahit po may pride tayong hindi pumapasa ang hindi pasado, please consider that. And lastly, guys, this is the most important message which I would like to tell you. Thank you for not sleeping. Have a good day ahead.